kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody to the Western States Racing League as we are here live in Iowa. I'm Alan Bergen, joined by me by one of my good friends, Liam Irving. Liam, how's it going?
Fantastic, Alan. How are you doing here tonight?
Look, man, I am pumped. You know, it's not very often that you and I get to work together. In fact, I kind of miss the days when we get to work together, but here we are. You know, Chris has done a great job working with you, and I'm glad to be back in the booth with you for a night.
Yeah, Alan, I know you're not usually the guy to do the Western States Racing League, but I'm also incredibly ecstatic to be working with you again. It has been a long time coming. I think it's been almost a year since we've been in the booth together, but just a couple things that we're going to have to clue you in on here in the Western States Racing League. We're on season number 53. This is going to be race number 4. And I missed the first race, was not around for Daytona. But after that, we saw Lyle Swearingen go basically flag to flag and win the race in Dover. Followed up by last week, which was a little bit more chaotic, which saw Butch Davis get the job done in IRP. Wayne Hutchinson was second for that. And third was Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, Bentley Glazer. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, so over the last 2 weeks, we've seen very opposite ends of the spectrum, with Dover going completely caution-free, 2 sets of green flag pit stops, being the only time that Lyle Swearingen didn't lead. Whereas last week, we got a couple of cautions early. We saw some passing for the lead. We saw numerous different leaders throughout the course of the race, and well, Butch Davis, he got it done in style, Alan. He did a spin and win. Got turned around in the late stages of the race, but was able to get back up to the front due to some other incidents.
That is great. Did he say ka-chow when he did it?
He might have, but I don't know. We weren't listening in on the radio.
I will say this, on Sunday nights, I'm on one half of the voice of the Icon Cup Series, and I tell you, you mentioned Bentley Glazer. He is tearing the world on. He's setting the world on fire over there. Hasn't he's broken through for a win over there. He's locked in the playoffs, and Tuesday nights he likes to come over here to the Western States Racing League and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, he had himself some fun last week with the third place finish. It's not very often that you see that driver running towards the back. Talking about Bentley Glazer, he's looking to be second fastest in qualifying right now as we roll here with just about 15 seconds left. 18 drivers have put down a lap time. 4 drivers are yet to put down a lap time, leaving us 22 drivers registered and ready to start this race. The last couple of weeks, we've had 2 drivers, 1 or 2 drivers that did not take the green flag after registering. So we'll keep an eye on that before we put all of our eggs in one basket. But Alan, qualifying's done here. What say we put up that starting grid?
You ask and you shall receive. Here it is. Here is the starting lineup. Jacob Jensen going to put it on the pole. Bentley Glazer, who we just got done talking about, going to be rolling off second. On the inside of row number 2 will be Butch Davis out of that FBR Motorsports contention, with Wayne Hutchison flanking him to the outside. On the inside of row number 3 will be Ryan Steele and David Weaver to his outside. Chris Simard and Earl Weaver will make up row number 4, while Shane Jensen and the Beltrami Salami machine of Bob Beltrami will make up row number 5. Take it away, Liam.
Yeah, moving forward, we've got Paul Crumray and Jeff Hollingsworth making up row number 6. Brian Barnes and Chad Stearns in row number 7. Ron Hollyfield and John Kenyon make up row number 8. Julian Ritchie and Dustin Burns in row 9. Charles Woods and Scott Kukas round out your top 20, and then Keith Kelman and Daryl Scott round out the field. And Alan, I do just want to, I don't have a secret way to do it, but just want to make sure your driver's off-pace, off-track graphic is gone.
It's gone.
Okay, that's just my thing then. Sorry, just had to make sure, but these guys are ready to rock and rumble here at the fastest short track in America, 7/8 miles, and you can see iRacing has gotten that update in with the new fresh pavement on the bottom side of this racetrack. It is going to be slick, if I had to guess. These guys are going to be searching for grip all over this racetrack, but I think you're going to find a little bit more on that pavement as this race wears in.
Well, here's the thing, too, Liam, and just, to put everything in perspective, we're from the Midwest. It gets humid. It gets hot. So there's 3 numbers I'm watching. One's the ambient temperature, which it's a nice, cool 70 degrees Fahrenheit, air temperature in the stands. It's 101 on the track. It's steamy. But that 95% relative humidity, it makes things a lot more steamier on the racetrack, which means these guys are going to be hustling the cars, trucks around the top side, the low side, the middle of the track, searching for that grip, that all-important grip.
Yeah, we'll see what these guys are going to be able to get done here at Iowa. 22 drivers going to be ready to roll here. It looks like 20 of them. Scott Kukas and Daryl Scott not going to take the green here. 20 drivers ready to rock and rumble at the fastest short track in America.
Well, Liam, when we come to green. This is your sandbox. I just get to play in it. So we get to do what you do best. And that's getting ready to bring us to green flag racing here in one short lap.
Jacob Jensen on the pole here. He's going to be hoping for a little bit better result than he saw last week. Some contact early on in the show put him out of the race, finishing virtually in last place. He's going to hope to keep that truck up at the front throughout the course of 140 laps. It's a tough task. Somebody's got to win. Jacob Jensen says, why not me? Meanwhile, to his outside, Bentley Glazer got a taste of that podium last week. He's going to be hungry for more. Butch Davis in third place. Got the job done last week. He wants to show that, hey, just because it was a crazy finish doesn't mean that was a fluke. And Wayne Hutchison, starting up in fourth, finished second last week. Base truck makes that hard left turn. Field in the hands of Jacob Jensen. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in Iowa.
Now, what a start Jacob Jensen just got over Bentley Glazer and Butch Davis in that FBR Motorsports contingent. And want to welcome Babs into the YouTube deck on my chat, as she is always rooting on FBR.
I appreciate everybody who tunes in and week out. Oh, God, sideways off of turn 4. Butch Davis goes around. He's going to spin it down to the inside of the tri-oval and fall all the way back into last place.
We stay green, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at it and see just what happened there.
Yeah, it was
a little free landscaping.
a good job keeping it out of the wall.
Here's the thing with Butch Davis, though. He spun early. He's got 138 laps to make it back to the front. He's going to be there at the end.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time. He's just maybe going to need the help of some yellow flag. Meanwhile, Jacob Jensen has gotten himself out to about a 3/4 second lead over Bentley Glazer. Wayne Hutchison falls back into third place. Ryan Steele in fourth and Chris Samard in fifth place. Things separating out in the front here. About 3 seconds separating our top 5. And that just kind of goes to show you, these guys are searching for grip all over the racetrack. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. And when you're racing around other trucks, that could really make it tough for you to find the grippy spots on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some good battles happening a little bit deeper in the field. We're not missing nothing in the front. That single fouled out. So here we are with Chad Stearns and Julian Ricci in that number 1 truck. You know, last season, Chad Stearns really picked up the pace on that, you know, and started learning that truck. So we got a couple drivers coming back, well, leaving the ball yard, coming back. It's Julian Ricci at 1.
Yeah, I think the 46 Weaver may have had himself a little bit of a moment there. Earl Weaver coming up out of turn 2. Some evasive action taken all around, but everybody gets away A-okay. We work now lap number 7. That 46 trying the high line out of that fresh pavement.
And here we are, still 2 wide double file. And there you see Charles Woods in a number 40 truck, who we get to see on Sunday nights over at the Icon Cup Series. But here he is riding around that 15th position. And, you know, here's the thing is, I love watching these guys do their thing here in Iowa. You know, and I mean, you and Chris Murphy do an amazing job here on Tuesday nights. And every once in a while you get to drift off to sleep here and hear the soulful sounds of you guys.
Well, we definitely do what we can to provide whatever we can. Entertainment, something to fall asleep to. As long as you guys are having fun. Got a little bit of a side-by-side just in front of these guys, Brian Barnes and Julian Ricci. Or sorry, rather Chad Stearns and Julian Ricci. And Alan, we noticed these guys running multiple grooves here. As these runs continue on, you're going to notice the outside lane definitely gets a bit more bite coming up off of the corner, but the drivers on the inside are going to be able to send it down in a little bit deeper. And of course, you might see some guys try to diamond the corner, slide in up top, and then cut down to the bottom on exit to try to straighten out that run.
Here's the thing too, Liam, and to add on to your point here, a lot of drivers on the service love coming to Iowa, no matter what's in the public forums or even on the in the private sector where you run your racing leagues at. But I tell you what, Iowa is the ideal racetrack, and when Rusty Wallace had a hand in designing Iowa, he wanted that perfect racetrack with multi-group racing. You could race from the top, the middle, and the bottom, and still make good lap times here.
We'll take a look back up towards the front of the field. I know what's Jacob Jensen shows so far, but Bentley Glazer is starting to kind of turn that clock a little bit back. Trying to close in. It was up about 1.2 seconds before, back down to 1.1. Coming across the start-finish line this time. Dead even in terms of lap times.
Yeah, we're on board with Bentley Glazer right now. That's what a second looks like when you're riding behind Jacob Jensen. We got to see Jacob Jensen first break onto the scene here last season when they went to Lime Rock, and they just look. I mean, the guy's a road racing master. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job on the ovals so far. He's got 1.1 seconds on Bentley Glazer. That lead has stabilized out, actually now favoring Jacob Jensen now that we get up to it. It was starting to look like Jensen was sliding coming up off of the corners, which generally shows right rear wear. It means that you're not going to be fast for very long, but he's doing a pretty good job. He's actually extending that lead a little bit more now as we continue on. Working lap 17 when they cross the start-finish line.
I do that too. I'm like, wait, what lap are we on?
It's not where I usually put it.
Nonetheless, here we are, up 2 spots. Chris Samard driving at, Kingsford Charcoal Grill with Hank Hill on the side.
I don't know if Hank Hill would approve of that charcoal.
I don't think you would.
Propane accessory.
To each their own, buddy. To each their own. I don't know, man. I've grown fond of it. – 18 laps into the history book to go. Make it 19 laps as they cross the stripe here in Iowa.
He's starting to heat up a little bit for third place. Wayne Hutchinson. He's got Ryan Steele right up on his back bumper.
I like this battle going on right here. Be patient and time out that pass. Ryan Steele, from what I've watched so far, he's been there, and it's almost like it's almost like if he could just put a whole night together and keep himself out of trouble.
Well, he did a pretty good job establishing himself on the inside going into turn number 1 there. Took the shorter way around on the front straightaway. And Wayne Hutchinson just got a little bit up out of that groove and wasn't able to put the power down on corner exit that allowed Ryan Steele to get clear. Steele gave plenty of room coming up off of the corner as well. You saw him on that probably third lane from the top. Now he's moved himself into third. He's got just under 3.5 seconds between him and second place, Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, exactly, Liam. So the burning question in my mind is when do you start thinking about that first pit stop? And are we going to come down green flag pit stops, which I hope happens.
Well, we're gonna have to if we don't get a yellow.
I'm okay with no yellows, knock on wood. I hope we get one. Or I hope we don't get one. Maybe using reverse psychology, we won't have one.
Paul Ray there in the 6th position, number 96. Doing himself a pretty good job. He's up 5 spots from where he started. Quietly working his way up through the field, just outside the top 5. He's got Chris Samart just in front of him. And he has been a little bit faster than Samart these last few laps. We'll see if he's going to be able to get up into the top 5 here in the next few. Looks to complete 24 laps this time around. Out of 140 here at the Iowa Speedway.
Exactly, here we are in Iowa. No tornadoes tonight in the virtual world. You know, I don't know if you saw that picture there, but that was a scary picture during the IndyCar weekend when they had that twister going right by Iowa.
Yeah, it certainly was, but like the classic Midwesterners that they were for that weekend, they just sat outside and watched. They took some photos. They said, wow, that's pretty cool, man. Hope it doesn't come this way.
Exactly. Here we are working lap number 26. Jacob Jensen, meanwhile back at the ranch, continues to lead the thing. Has opened up a 2-second lead over Bentley Glazer and that number 87 truck. There's the eyeball test. I mean, 2 seconds, or 2 seconds you don't think is really significant, but really on the racetrack, 2 seconds is a long time.
And that gap just keeps increasing as the laps go by. Jacob Jensen has been virtually flawless throughout the course of this first 30 or so laps. A little bit of a slide there coming through turn 2. Not quite enough to allow Bentley Glazer an option or an opportunity to close in.
Now let me ask you a question, Liam, because I know you do a little bit of racing here on the service, as we all do. In Bentley Glazer's case, do you think the truck helps him in the Cup car? Like, is this because on an Icon we're right here in Iowa on Sunday evening, where you can catch myself and Dave Riegel bringing you all the action. So do you think with Bentley Glazer being on the track here at Iowa with the truck, do you think that's going to help him on Sunday?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it can kind of help you get the ebbs and flows of what the racetrack is going to do. But these trucks and these cars are so different from each other. I mean, they've definitely got more similarities than I would say the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars. But with the amount of power that these things lack, and the lack of grip compared to the Cup car, I don't know. I guess I don't drive the Cup car enough to really know how it translates, but I feel like you definitely get more of a feel for the track, if anything.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense to me, knowing that, okay, Sunday I got 240 laps. Today I'm going to run half of that distance. Maybe I can learn somewhere the braking zones are. You're going to be able to drive the truck, the Cup car in a little bit deeper in the corner. You can learn where the grip is going to be in the middle of a run, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give you a lot of information for how these runs are going to play out and what you can expect in terms of tire wear.
Definitely. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jacob Jensen has opened up a 2-second lead. We're going to see if we can find a couple of other good battles here back in the back. Here we are, Butch Davis and John Kenyon in the 88 car. It's like Earl Weaver, rather.
Yeah, Butch Davis, he's managed to get himself a couple of spots up in front of these guys. But yeah, great battle here coming up off of turn number 4. You got Ron Hollifield a little bit loose there out of David Weaver, or Earl Weaver, rather. Get up in front of that 25. Another 25 trying to run that top side. Going to cut down a little bit to get that exit. Tried to get that run up on Weaver, but not quite enough coming out of turn number 2. He's still peeking to the outside. Just trying to let Weaver know he's still there. Now he tries to cut down to the bottom on corner exit. Weaver gets a little bit loose. Holyfield has to check up just a touch. And I tell you, Alan, it seems like that 25 truck might be a little quicker than the 46, at least at this stage in the run. I know these guys are worried because that leader is coming up not too terribly far behind him. It's getting to be go time if you're some of these guys at the back of the pack.
So when we come to short track, Sam, I watched 2 parts of the race, right? So I watched the leaders and then the tail end of the field. Because it's not a matter of if the leader catches you, it's a matter of when the leader catches you. And, then you got to think, okay, if the caution comes out, I'm at least in line for the wave around.
Yeah, but in a perfect world, you don't have to take it. Holyfield tries to get down to the inside of Weaver once again, but not quite enough. Forward bite coming up off of the corner for him to get that move done. You can see him trying different lanes here. He's getting more of a lower exit, and it's helping him to match the speed on quarter exit. He just can't get the nose where he needs to make that pass.
Exactly, and I don't think Ron's going to be too content riding behind Earl Weaver much longer before he tries to make a move. Just like that, he's going to try the outside once again, and this might be the best case scenario for Ron Holyfield is that 88 truck of John Kenyon and Earl Weaver going side by side. Is he going to try to follow 88 truck right around the outside as they are Goodyear to Goodyear for this spot?
A little bit of a run up on the top side. That's going to give the 25 the momentum with the 88 at Kenyon. These guys battling very hard. This is just inside of the top 20. Don't let anybody tell you that these positions in the back don't matter. These guys are having themselves a 3-way dogfight because they know there's only one car separating them and the race leader. That's Dustin Burns in the 04.
Whoa, the 88 truck gets a little bit loose and almost gets into the 25 truck. Evasive action happening right here as we stick with this battle. It's finally going to settle out as Ron Holyfield's going to finally get around John Kenyon.
Yeah, Kenyon's up in the wall there into turn 3, so that's going to cost him some time. We'll see if this battle continues on in just a moment, but Wayne Hutchison is under fire now, at risk of losing that 5th place position to Chris Samard, who works down to the inside, just trying to paint that white line down there on the bottom. Got himself a good run through the corner, but coming up off, Wayne Hutchison able to utilize that outside lane, utilize that momentum. Gets clear for at least another moment.
Watching this battle here comes Chris Samard going to look to the inside and get clear of Wayne Hutchison. But it's almost like to me that Wayne Hutchison is just a little bit better center off. Whoa, what a slide job that was.
Indeed. That was quite the slide job there coming up through 3 and 4 coming off before Hutchison tried to get back down to the bottom to cover it, but not quite enough. Samard's going to move himself back into the 5th spot, and now Wayne Hutchison has lost 2 spots from where he started after getting up into the top 3 for a moment. So it's Jacob Jensen getting into lap traffic now, followed by Bentley Glazer, who's about 3 or so seconds behind. Ryan Steele about 7 seconds off the lead. Paul Crumray 9.3, and then 11 seconds back to your 5th place driver, Chris Samard. Now Jeff Hollingsworth is all over the back bumper of Wayne Hutchison. Bob Beltrami looks to be trying to join that battle as well. Sorry, Beltrami's in a different battle. He's got Brian Barnes coming up on his rear end. Jeff Hollingsworth is trying to put a bead on the back bumper of that 17.
I love it. There's so many battles going on the racetrack. It's hard to keep everything straight. As right now we were watching this battle with Wayne Hutchison and Jeff Hollingsworth. That's a name I haven't seen pop up in these races for a long time. Before I become a member of Sim Racing Media, would hop into the Western States Racing League and, get my weekly slice of humble pie.
Yeah, I remember those days.
They still happen occasionally.
Yeah, I've got commitments on Tuesday nights now. I can't race with these guys, but I wouldn't mind it.
Hey, you name the night, I'll hop in the booth, and you go racing. Nonetheless, here we are. This is a battle for 8th position right now. Brian Barnes putting Bob Beltrami under fire right now. And even Chad Stearns, you can start to see him just a little bit out of frame. He's starting to get into this mix to make it a 3-truck battle for 8th.
Trying to make it a 3-truck battle for position there. Here comes Brian Barnes down to the inside. Just peeking. Not quite close enough to make the move on Beltrami, but he wants to let him know that he's there and that he's looking.
Yeah, definitely. Brian Barnes, like a lion staking out his prey as they come onto the back straightaway. And, you know, the transitions of this racetrack and the grippiness level, you got to search for the grip. It's like watching the pavement version of a dirt track. I mean, you got trucks running the eye line. You got trucks running in the center of the racetrack. I mean, some are even down on the white line.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are searching for grip all over the racetrack. And you can see as these guys are really, really putting some laps down on their tires. It's going to be 50 laps complete this time around. Passing is just getting tougher and tougher on these guys.
Taking another look at the weather right now, it is now 70 degrees up in the stands. The humidity is not dropped, but the track temperatures came down 2 degrees to that 108. We're still on the north side of 100 as we continue on through the race here at about 2 o'clock in the sun time.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of sun poking out, but there is just enough to keep some temperature in this track, and doesn't make things any easier on the tires. These guys will probably be excited in about 15 to 20 laps when they come in and change tires. I would anticipate right around halfway these guys to split the race in two just to minimize the amount of time on super warm tires. But we might see some guys try different things. The undercut, the overcut are always possibilities. These guys have fallen off about 1.5 seconds from their fastest lap, so the undercut could get you a couple seconds on the drivers you're racing around. The only question is, how much are you going to suffer on the back end of that with worn tires?
Taking a look through the field here, and right now we're focused up on Bob Beltrami. It looks like that Bentley Glazer has called it a night. And I
Does
can't
look that way.
I can't confirm that Bentley Glazer has indeed won the race to the beer stand. It's not a race you want to win, but someone's got to win it. And, well, I hope he's enjoying some frosty cold Budweisers.
Busch Light Lime, maybe?
Yeah.
We don't have an official beer of SRM, so,
Hey, someone's got
you guys
one.
want to jump on that?
We'll
The
say
official microbrew,
There you go.
the official IPA. Come on, local breweries. Got ourselves, not for position, but a little bit of a side-by-side action there. And yeah, like you said, Bentley Glazer from second place, off the racetrack right now. Connection upload, packet loss.
Oh,
The iRacing, oh, sideways there for Weaver. Good save there.
I hope he doesn't have Spectrum Internet.
Is that what you use?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to pick between Spectrum or Xfinity. Trust me, if we had Xfinity, probably what I'd want to go with.
Well, let me tell you, Alan, I have Xfinity Wi-Fi, and it is as fast as that number 64. Jacob Jensen machine out front. It is great stuff. And they don't even have to pay me to say that. I just enjoy the internet. Just like Jacob Jensen enjoys this race lead that he has held on to from the drop of the green flag. He's got 8.5 seconds over Ryan Steele in second place. I tell you what, man, I mean, you could say these guys hope for a caution, but Jacob hasn't looked back. He's hardly been slower than anybody all day. I mean, Butch Davis is about the only person putting down competitive lap times with him at the current time. Chad Stearns about a 10th off. And of course, Butch Davis had the incident on the second lap where he got sideways coming out of turn number 4, spun through the grass, no caution for it, but still cost him a bunch of time. Currently 19.4 seconds behind your race leader, but he's made his way back up to the top 10 in 10th place. Butch Davis all the way back to 20th after spinning out. Wouldn't be the first time this year he got the spin and win done if he can get up there, but tell you what, Alan, 20 seconds back, he's going to need some help.
Yeah, we're 60 laps in here to this one. We're working lap number 61 right now, and he is currently running down Chad Stearns. I think that spin and win strategy works, especially with a talent like Butch Davis here, that FBR Motorsports contingent. And I tell you what, I had a blast watching him in season 53. You know, for most of the season.
A bit of a battle just in front here with Stearns and Barnes. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. That was long-winded, but yeah, this battle's starting to heat up. And then here comes Butch Davis. He says, "I'm getting in on this too."
That wasn't too long-winded. I was just trying to multitask for us.
That's all right. Someone's got to do it.
Chad Stearns able to get around Brian Barnes, though, and now he's going to be able to get around Bob Beltrami as well. And if you're Brian Barnes, you got to be thinking, what in the heck just happened, man? I've been trying to pass this guy for laps upon laps. Now this guy just comes by and passes us both. And then here comes Butch Davis. Going to follow through. 4 trucks battling here just outside the top 5. This is for 7th place.
If I'm Butch Davis, I'm looking for that 2-for-1 special to get by Beltrami and Chad Stearns all in the same time as we are working lap 65, getting ready to come to lap 66 here.
He's got to run on Beltrami. Bob's able to get the power down, keep that long straightaway, keep the speed on the long straightaway. Back to the bottom is Butch Davis. Beltrami a little bit sideways, but he's going to have enough bite to stay with the 43, stay side by side, coming up off of turn 2. See if he can get the pass done this time around. Looks like he does. Butch Davis back up into 8th place now. He's going to put a bead on Chad Stearns just in front of him.
As he is engaged, puts the laser on Chad Stearns. Chad Stearns trying to get away from Butch Davis like he owes him lunch money.
As long as you don't owe Austin Hill lunch money, you're good. We've seen what he's willing to do.
Austin Hill has won the race to the beer stand, and we're not even to Wednesday yet.
I don't even think he's allowed at the beer stand if he's not allowed at the track. He's going to have to hit up a Casey's.
They got great pizza, by the way.
It's good stuff. If I can find my way to Iowa for the race on Sunday, which is very doubtful, but since it's so close, I might try to fight somebody for it. I'm kidding. I don't condone violence for going to races. We prefer that to be a peaceful family time.
Oh, exactly. Nonetheless, here we are, still watching this battle with Butch Davis. We're not missing anything up at the front. Charles Woods has pulled a proverbial parachute and said, you know what, I'm going to come down pit road. I need tires.
Charles Woods is the first, just before halfway, rocking lap number 69 for him. Jacob Jensen comes in from the lead here, and he's going to come in this time. And I'd imagine currently everybody behind him is going to follow him through.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at that slide. He gets a 5 on the pit entry.
Yeah, it was pretty aggressive there. A little bit of a slide, but he's going to take 4 tires and get rid of those worn tires. Ryan Steele can inherit the race lead. Paul Cremray and Chris Samard also stay out.
Looks like Shane Jensen, David Weaver, Kenny Kelman Burns, Charles Woods is on pit road right now. Hollingsworth, Kumrai, Samard, they're all coming down pit road.
Cremray missed the pit.
Whoa! Kumrai just hit the abort button, and well, I would imagine he did that to save himself from getting a penalty.
Oh, absolutely. He, he realized he wasn't going to make it. Cranked it to the right. Going to try it again this time.
So just say when you don't succeed, just try again.
Wayne Hutchison going to follow him in. This is a very difficult pit road to make a green flag stop on. These guys doing an amazing job of getting it woed down. So far, no pit speeding penalties yet, but keep you updated if that changes.
Well, nonetheless, here we are. As Earl Weaver going to inherit that race lead, and here comes Jacob Jensen coming back up to the front to do it. They do what Jacob Jensen does, and that's to lead races.
Here comes Weaver into the pit. He's going to relinquish the race lead and put Jacob Jensen back out front.
Yeah, he's going to inherit the gap with inherit the lead with a 15-second gap. As Ryan Steele closing in frantically.
I think Butch Davis may have gotten himself a pit speeding penalty.
Oh no.
He has now fallen down a lap or to the race leaders, all the way back in 18.
Butch Davis's night just went from bad to worse. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you're not missing anything here. As this field has got single filed out here on lap number 75 of 140, making lap 76.
Yeah, these guys really getting spread out here on the long run in Iowa. 75 green flag laps complete this time around. Jacob Jensen has led them all.
Well, I'd tell you what, Liam. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, you're good. I think I know what you're going to say.
It's time for us to take our pit stop and go to commercial, and we're going to go side by side so you don't miss a thing. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Western States Racing League here. And while we was on break, Earl Weaver's show crashed, but let's see what happened to Chad Stern. And Chad Stern comes out of turn number 4.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of, I guess I was just highlighting this long-term battle that we ended up watching it throughout the whole break. Wayne Hutchison put in the work. It took him 3 or 4 laps to set up this pass, and then 3 or 4 more laps to complete it. It's a really good battle that we got to witness while we were on commercial break. I also may have misclicked on the recording of the event, but still, fun to watch.
Why not watch it again?
Yeah. But I was trying to go and see what happened to Earl Weaver there. Still a little bit rusty on my end, but
No worries. While we're watching this battle here, this replay here, you can see he's finally going to make that pass, Wayne Hutchinson. And to your point, that's just how tough it is to pass right now, especially in the later stages of this race. You really got to set those passes up. Here we go. As you see there, Wayne Hutchinson looking to the outside, finally going to cross him over and makes the pass. And that's what we were trying to see right there. As they were neck and neck to no avail. Finally going to get around him here.
yeah, that outside lane gives you a lot of momentum coming up out of the corner. I guess it was only a lap and a half. Oh, he's able to get that run back up out of the outside. Chad Stearns was really fought hard for that 6th position, but in the end, Wayne Hutchison able to get clear and drive away with it.
And there is that battle there as we see what happened to Earl Weaver here while we were away.
Yeah, I checked on this one. He's just going to get sideways, corrects it up the track, and then a slow, lazy spin down to the inside wall. Off of the racing surface, so no caution's going to come out there.
I do love the
Weaver.
chef. As I said, I do love the chef's kiss there at the end.
Just a little wall tap. So you're looking at Chad Stearns in 7th place. 8th place, Bob Beltrami behind him just got lapped. What has been an absolute clinic that Jacob Jensen has put on today. It looks like 45 laps to go. It looks like he's going to end up leading all but about 4 laps. I mean, we still got a long way to go. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. But I'm just trying to count up a little bit. I think as of this point, there's only been 5 laps that Jacob Jensen hasn't led.
And that was during the pit stop in the cycle.
Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there for Jacob. Coming up off of turn number 2. Not going to hurt him too much, though.
Not at all. Jacob Jensen putting a clinic on how, putting on a masterclass of how you get around Iowa Speedway. Ryan Steele right behind him. I wouldn't even say right behind him. That's 9 seconds behind you.
Yeah, 9 seconds. It might not be a long time in very many situations, but on the racetrack, it is definitely a long time. I mean, that is an agonizingly long time to be behind. Oh, we got ourselves a little bit of a move there. Butch Davis getting down to the inside. John Kenyon trying to get down to the inside. It doesn't look like the 12 is super happy with his truck right now. He's got 2.5 seconds on Chris Samard just behind him, but the gap is closing down by the lap.
Yeah, definitely. Chris Samard and that number 77 truck trying to run down Ryan Steele in that 12 truck. And to no avail. These trucks every week are just so even. I mean, you can't get anywhere even in these trucks right now. We're working lap 101. 39 laps to go.
39 laps to go. Every lap up to this point has been green flag, meaning the only break that these drivers have gotten, maybe the 15 seconds that their cars are up on the jacks. With the exception of that, they have been all out going for it. Almost jet fighters in a gymnasium at the short track here.
I love it. I love the terminology.
In the 97, Jeff Hollingsworth. He's up 8 spots from where he started, up to 4th place. Having himself a pretty solid run throughout the course of this race. Kind of quietly up in the top 5 for most of the second half.
Yeah,
Paul
definitely.
Ray in 5th place, just behind him by about a second and a half. Doing his best to recover from missing the pit lane earlier on. He was up in 3rd place. Lost 2 spots, but a ton of track position.
Now, let me ask you this: was that a? I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that was a unsafe pit exit because he never hit the yellow cone.
I believe you're right.
Okay. iRacing can be a little wonky about those sometimes, you know, the unsafe exit or enters. But I think if the wall's not there, it's unsafe.
Well, I don't think you're committed until you get to the inside of the commitment
Okay.
cone. I don't think I should say, I don't think the commitment cone is until you're inside of the pit wall. So I didn't get a replay of it, but it could have just been a situation where he came in too hot and just wasn't going to make the corner.
You're not wrong there. Ryan's still closing that gap ever so slightly, that coveted 9-second gap. Here we are trying to get it down to a 9.5-second lead is what Ryan's still trying to do. Jacob Jensen all by his lonesome out there, getting ready to put Chad Stearns a lap down here. Run, Chad, run.
You can say that all you want to, but that 64 has been on rails all day. I'd be surprised if he doesn't lap Wayne Hutchison in front of him as well.
Well, he's definitely working on it right now. Meanwhile, there's, even so, some of these drivers are a lap down. There's still some great battles in the rear of the field here. Like David Weaver, for example, trying to close in on Bob Beltrami and that Beltrami Salami, number 14.
Well, let's not forget Bob Beltrami tried to chase back down Brian Barnes just in front of him. That one for position would be for the 8th place on the racetrack.
Working lap 109 of 140 laps to be scheduled here. No rain delays at 10 to go in the virtual world.
Yeah, that has been a unfortunate trend over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And, I missed out on Indy on Sunday. I know that place holds a special spot in your heart. Doesn't matter what's running at Indy. You'll find yourself tuned in there or afar. But, I mean, I know Bubba Wallace won the race.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And I also know there's a little bit of drama in there, too.
Nothing super crazy in the Cup race.
Well, while we got a moment here, while we're watching Bob Beltrami, I would say this: if you were a World of Outlaws fan, you were at the Fairbury American Legion Speedway on Saturday, you were a trooper, because that was a marathon day that led into a Sunday morning slugfest. And I tell you what, those World of Outlaw guys, if you can't get to World of Outlaw race, go watch it on Dirt Vision, because they put on an absolute show, and the PDC was an absolute banger of a race. And any track that's not Fairbury, and I don't think anywhere else would have got that race then. But Matt Curl and the guys, they put their heads down, got their nose to the stone, and went to work. And boy, we saw one heck of a race. And I know, Liam, that you're an avid dirt racing fan just like I am.
Oh yeah, World of Outlaws is actually coming up to Ogilvy Raceway in Minnesota in a couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure I'll be up in the stands over there. The nice little racetrack, dirt track, about 60 miles north of where I live, and a couple of my buddies race there too. It's a really cool little track. It'll be a lot of fun to get down there and see some World of Outlaws action. Alan, maybe have to get with you about some photography or videography tips.
Oh, absolutely. Look, the one thing about that is in that world is be patient. Don't shoot ahead of the car. Wait, let the car come to you, and I'm sure you will have some great shots. I'm looking forward to seeing them. So, 25 laps to go. Jacob Jensen still doing Jacob Jensen things as he is working on Chad Stearns to finally put him a lap down. They are neck and neck, and that's going to allow Wayne Hutchison to stave off going a lap down just a lap longer.
Yeah, but look at the way that Stearns is fighting. He was fighting the same way that he was fighting that 17 truck just a couple of laps ago. He really doesn't want to go a lap down here, just in case we get a caution in the last 20 laps. If you take that free pass, you got to start tail end of the line. If you take the wave around, you don't get to pit. Best case scenario for him is going to be staying on the lead lap and hoping for a caution.
Well, here's the other
thing. If that
thing.
doesn't work, he's going to have to get past that 17 real quick.
Oh boy, here we go. The 17 is just right ahead of him and Stearns. And I feel like there we go. We're going to make it official this time by.
Yeah, Jensen finally gets clear. Now Stearns has got to be saying, okay, now get around that 17 as quick as possible so I can pass him for the free pass.
And just he said, it's almost like he's listening. But I was going to say too, Liam, as Jacob Jensen gets deeper and deeper and putting these guys a lap down, it's going to be tougher and tougher.
Oh yeah, we've only got 5 drivers on the lead lap at this point. Jacob Jensen, Ryan Steele, Chris Samard, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Paul Cromray.
And 21 laps to go.
We got 20 now, and Jacob Jensen crosses the stripe. We don't have a 20 to go sponsor, do we, Alan?
No, we don't. We need one.
Yeah, if you guys want to be talked about with 20 to go, well, Jacob Jensen holds on to a very commanding lead. Ryan Steele gained 3 spots from 5th place starting spot. Chris Samard, 4 spots from 7. Jeff Hollingsworth, he's gained 8 spots from 12th. He's now 4th. And then Paul Cromray, he's gained 6 spots, started 11th. So the only driver in the top 5 who is not running better than where they started is Jacob Jensen, and that's just because you can't get better than starting in first.
The lead so far with 19 to go. Don't want to get the race to him just yet, but right now, just behind him, even though they're a lap down, it's almost like Chad Stearns and Wayne Hutchinson cannot get away from each other. It's almost like they're driving with magnets.
Well, this is for position. These guys, yeah, they've been stuck to each other all night, and I'm a huge fan of that. These guys haven't been able to get away from each other, and the more they stay side by side, the closer that's going to allow Brian Barnes to get in the Ford truck just behind him. But yeah, these guys have been virtually stuck together all night. This is for position, man. This is 6th place on the line.
Yeah, definitely. Just because you're a lap down doesn't mean you're not battling for something. Because you're battling for that free pass. And right now, there's a lot on the line here in this battle for 6th. But Ryan Barnes, as you pointed out, he is inserting himself into this picture slowly but surely. 16 laps is what we have left here in this one.
And he's gaining about a 10th a lap. That's what he needs. That's all he needs. Is there's the crossover coming out of Hutchison. He's going to come back down to the bottom. And now we've got a repeat of earlier, where Chad Stearns was stuck up on the outside. Stuck down on the inside is Wayne Hutchison. Run towards the outside. Chad Stearns is going to get back clear. Take away the 6th spot and the free pass position should it come to it. It's going to be 15 laps around this circuit. Jacob Jensen holds on to a commanding 10.5-second lead. As Chris Samard has gotten himself within a second now of Ryan Steele.
Yeah, we don't want to forget the battles up here in the front. There's the eyeball test from Ryan Steele to Chris Samard. You know, and so knowing that, you know, Jacob Jensen is just picking off laps and picking off drivers, what's the mindset knowing that you could potentially go a lap down by the end of this race, even though you're running third?
Oh, at this stage in the game, he's not going a lap down. 11.5 seconds behind the leader. I don't even think Paul Cremray in 5th place is at risk of going a lap down at this point, just with how the lap times have fallen off. They're getting close to 25 seconds. I mean, it's possible that Paul gets lapped, but I don't think it's likely. Smart able to close in. Now it's a 0.5 second. Cut about a 10th out that last lap around. You see a little bit of sliding out of the 12 just in front as we ride on board with Chris Samard. 12 laps to go for these drivers, and really looks like that 77 is able to set down in the corner. Oh, this time Ryan Steele gets a little bit of a run coming up off. Where they run in turns 3 and 4, both of them down on the bottom. But Chris Samard stays just a little bit lower, and you see that 12 get just a hair loose coming up off of the corner. Another 10th in the favor of Chris Samard.
And Chris Samard trying to get Hank Hill and the charcoal accessories up to Ryan Steele and get by him. I mean, we're not missing nothing here. This battle's getting ready to get good here. We got 10 laps to go here.
10 laps to go in Iowa. It's an 11-second lead for Jacob Jensen. He's not worried about anything unless it's coming from that flag stand. Meanwhile, this battle for second sits about 0.4 of a second. As these guys get closer and closer to the end, you gotta wonder, what are they willing to do to get that extra position? Coming up on a couple of lap trucks in front of them battling, that's David Weaver and Butch Davis trying to get a position. Could potentially throw a hammer in the race for second place as well, as now Butch Davis moves down to the inside to take away 13th. He's going to work the very bottom of the racetrack, get that pass clear, gets the job done.
8 laps to go, and it's all Jacob Jensen all day long doing Jacob Jensen thing. As this battle is starting to heat up, and like you said, Liam, how is this going to affect that battle for second? Because I don't think that Ryan Steele or Chris Samard is going to be content with riding behind this battle too long.
Oh, Steele's starting to get a little sideways. If you go back there, you can see him wiggling just a little bit coming up off of the corner. Not quite the entrance he maybe wanted there. Samard works all the way down on the bottom. Now Weaver's going to take away a little bit of the space that Samard wanted to use on exit, and that's going to be a big benefit for Ryan Steele.
And here comes Ryan Steele off of turn number 4. We got a half dozen laps to go. Chris Samard is right there.
Yeah, he's closing in. He's got a couple of truck lengths that he's got to try to work through. He's been able to get within 2 or 3, but after that, he loses a little bit of time. A little bit of a slide out of Steele coming up off of turn 4. Not as much of a wiggle as it was before. 2/10 separating these guys with just a handful of laps to go.
Coming down the back straightaway with 5 laps to go, 5 flanges in the air. And this battle for seconds getting ready to get really good here. Make it 4 laps to go. Look, you know, if you're Ryan Steele, you're not going to make up 11 seconds in 4 laps.
No, this is hardcore defense mode. You want to keep that 77 behind you. Looks like that gap is stabilizing right around that quarter-second mark, though. Samard is going to have to try something different if he wants to make that move on the 12. A little bit more in terms of distance going the 12's way coming up off of turn 4.
Yeah, that time Ryan still had a way better corner exit than Samard did. But this time Samard right there with him. We got popsicle sticks in the air. You're not missing anything up front. We were watching this battle with Ryan Steele and Chris Samard.
Now, you say we're not missing anything up front, but if you're Jacob Jensen right now, you just put together a flawless performance. A performance so flawless that we felt it, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but just almost impossible to think about the fact that he could make a mistake. From the drop of the green flag, Jacob Jensen set sail. He has not looked back. The only laps of this race he didn't lead came through pit cycles. Jacob Jensen had some contact at the beginning of last week's race. Didn't get to finish it the way he wanted it to. This week, it's going to finish exactly how he wants to. In first place, the same way he started. Jacob Jensen gets it done here in Iowa.
What a race, 11-second advantage over Ryan Steele. So we come back to see that battle. Ryan's still going to finish second. Chris Samard will put Hank Hill and the Kingston Charcoal Machine on the podium. Jeff Hollingsworth will finish fourth, and rounding out your top 5 will be Paul Krumray.
And for the second time this season, we see a caution-free race. Jacob Jensen gonna burn it down the front straightaway. Number 64 Chevy Silverado goes to victory lane in Iowa.
I tell you what, look, if there's any week that I wanted to jump into the SRM booth here at the Western States Racing League, I'm glad it was this one.
Yeah, you got to witness an absolute clinic. I mean, Jacob Jensen took these boys to class today. He taught the class. He graded the papers. He did it all, man. And he didn't look back once. Absolutely fantastic drive there from Jacob Jensen. We'll see if we can get... I don't see third, so we'll go first to third. And we'll start with Jacob Jensen up in the booth. You got a copy. It's Liam and Allen.
I got you. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. You put on a butt whooping there. I mean, we talked about it. You started first, and as soon as you took the green flag, it was just kind of over.
Yeah, the Cavi Performance car was really fast tonight. I had a lot of fun. Kind of a shame that Bentley Gilbert had his connection issues because we might have been able to put on a show. But yeah, it was a lot of fun out front and a very good race overall. The new Iowa was awesome.
What does it mean to be able to get to victory lane, especially given the struggles of last week not being able to finish the race?
It means a lot. Having a bounce back like that is just amazing. I'm sorry to Lyle, and I'm sure he's sorry to me. We kind of lost our tempers last week, and it was just a really good comeback week. And I think we might have been able to do something similar at IRP, but we'll never know.
What was the secret? Did you have like jet fuel in there? Did you have a special set of matched tires, or?
I just hugged the bottom. Like, I was just a bottom feeder all night. I don't really know what else I did different compared to the rest of the field. I couldn't really see them.
Well, awesome stuff, Jacob. You did a phenomenal job. Virtually flawless. I think the only laps that you didn't lead were about 5 during that pit cycle at halfway. Who do you want to give a shout out to for such a strong run this week?
Well, I want to give a shout out to the dear Lord. I want to give a shout out to all the people at Cavu Performance, my mom, my brother, my dad, and Uncle Leonard. I want to thank all my friends and all my family that's watching. And I want to thank you guys and Bob for putting this league together.
Awesome stuff, Jacob. Congratulations on the win, and especially in such dominant fashion. Let's take a quick look and just let you know the final margin of victory was 11.646 seconds. So far, the largest of the season.
Sweet. Thank y'all. I hope you guys have a nice week.
Thank you, Jacob. All right, now we
had to talk to Ryan.
got
Steele.
Ryan Steele. Yeah, Ryan Steele up in second place. Alan, I think you've got him.
Ryan, it's Alan and Liam. How's it going?
It's going about as well as a guy who finished second but was still half a lap down can be. It's a lot of mixed feelings. Like, yay, I got second. I was a half a lap down, and then I wasn't even close all race.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the second place, nothing to hang your hat on. And it certainly does help you in the point standings when you're big picture racing. But take us to that race and where you could have needed to maybe have something for Jacob there at the end.
Well, I mean, I feel like what hurt me was that I spent the first run taking it easy, expecting there to be a lot of fall off in the lap times, and I thought Jacob. I watched him drive away, and I thought he's probably burning his tires off. I'll catch him later. It's no big deal. And then it never came back to me. And once I finally started charging, I was only sometimes gaining a 10th a lap, and even then, I was still overall losing time. I never was able to match him all race. A restart would have made it closer because I only lost a second or so on the second run. But like maybe if there had been a restart, I would have been able to learn something from being behind him. But honestly, I don't know how you catch someone who beats you by half a lap over the length of a race. I just don't think you can do it.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on the second place finish. Before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that number 12 chart?
Well, I've always got to thank my dog bear teammates for. I think I just locked up. Can you still hear me? No, okay, yep. Weird. Anyway, I just got to thank my dog bear teammates for helping prepare because I didn't have much time to practice. And I got to thank you guys for covering the series.
Awesome stuff. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, I hope so. Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, we'll go ahead and get third place. Chris Samard up in the booth. Chris, it's Liam and Alan. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, you gave him everything you had there at the end, racing Ryan Steele. Do you think you could have gotten around him at the end? What more was there going to take out of that truck?
I was trying as hard as I could. I could drive in a little bit further than him, but I didn't have that run off the corner. And even if I got to the inside, the outside off the corner, you could pinch someone down, and it was really tough to pass. So I don't even know if I could have passed him on the inside, but it was fun at the end trying to catch him. And just, learning the track. This was the first time that I've run the repave in the corners, and it's a different feel to the track tonight. So.
Well, you brought up something there that I want to touch up on, how tough it is to pass. You were one of the drivers who was able to, move forward from where you started. You started in 7th, and I know going up 4 spots in a race doesn't sound like a lot, but what does it take to set up a pass here, and what made it difficult?
It's just difficult because it's, the outside is so fast. If you come up to a fast car and try and pass them on the inside, the outside usually prevails here. It's kind of like last week at Lucas Oil. You just had to really dive bomb the corner to get, hopefully past the truck and push up in front of them to make the pass. And it was really, really tough tonight. A lot of the times that I was passing people, they kind of let me by there a little bit. So it was a little bit easier, but it's definitely really hard to pass here. Like Lucas Oil last week, it's just really, really tough, but it's a fun track to run. And I enjoy all the short tracks, and congratulations to Jacob. He was the class of the field tonight. I don't think anyone was going to catch him there. I was 12 seconds behind him. It was kind of just matching lap times at the end here and there, but just he was so far in front, it didn't really matter if I was catching him by a tenth a lap or whatnot. But
Well, I know half a lap down, it doesn't sound great, but you still come home with third on the podium. Phenomenal drive here. You were one of a few guys who was actually able to make some passes. So, who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank for such a strong run in that 77 machine?
I just thank all my teammates, Simriga Creation Studios, you guys up in the booth. You guys do a great job with the broadcast. I like going back to watching the races, and my wife and son, and like I said last week, not last week, the week before, we lost one of our teammates, Larry, and dedicate this third place to him. So.
Awesome stuff, Chris. We appreciate you jumping up in the booth with us, and we appreciate you bringing the memory of Larry with you as well. We know we talked with you guys a couple of weeks ago after Dover.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he's sorely missed. So.
All right, Chris. Well, you have yourself a wonderful night, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, fellas, have a good night.
Well, that's it for our podium interviews here. Now we go through our finishing final results of the day. Jacob Jensen gets the job done by 11.646 seconds over Ryan Steele. Chris Samard rounds out the podium with Jeff Hollingsworth and Paul Crumray rounding out your top five. Got Chad Stearns, Wayne Hutchison, Brian Barnes, Bob Beltrami, and Shane Jensen rounding out your top 10. Then the rest of the field, Julian Ritchie, Ron Hollifield, Butch Davis, David Weaver, Earl Weaver, John Kenyon, Dustin Burns, Keith Kelman, Charles Woods, and Bentley Glazer, the last of the drivers to take the grid. Scott Kugas and Daryl Scott both registered, but did not take the grid, so all the credit that they get is their name on the screen.
That's all they're getting today. Nonetheless, some final thoughts before we get out of here tonight, Liam. Once again, I am just so honored that I got the tap on the shoulder to put me in the booth with you tonight. And what a better track to do a sub job here than at Iowa. I mean, we saw all kinds of racing. Who would have thought Jacob Jensen would have had won this thing with an 11.646 second gap?
I mean, that is SVG Mexico City's levels of dominance right there. I mean, he absolutely put on a clinic, and I kind of feel bad because, we're getting to the end of the race, and we're not watching the race leader at all. But he's just so far ahead. It's like, we're looking for the battles and almost not appreciating the level of dominance that we're seeing out of Jacob Jensen here today. And, he really put on a good show at a tough track. And a lot of the guys will talk to you about how tough it was. Chris Samard talked about how tough it was to pass, especially, with the outside being so fast and when you wear down on the tires. It was a phenomenal show. It didn't come easy to anybody except for maybe Jacob Jensen after the halfway point.
Absolutely. Well, Liam, it is time where all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. So, as the late, great Tony Trapasso would always say, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.